Just time and a half this time.
Close up.
Hi, I'm John Martin, and I'm going to give an informational speech today. Over time, it's become very common for football players to appear in commercials. Like, for example, Richard Sherman appeared in soup commercials, and Peyton Manning has appeared in pizza store commercials. And then most recently, J.J. Watt appeared in a commercial splitting wood in the forest. This really caught my attention because since I live in the Northwest, many people heat with wood. And splitting wood is actually what my speech is about. The art of splitting wood takes some definite technique. Splitting wood is also something that has been going on for centuries because for a long period of time it was the only thing that people could use to heat their homes and also cook food. Splitting wood can be a fun hobby as well as a beneficial skill. There are many reasons to split wood, but obviously the main reason is that it will not fit in a normal stove or fireplace unless it is split because the wood is too large to go inside. And also, it will become more dried out if you split it. Like, although you normally use a dead standing tree, it will dry out more because if you split it into chunks, the bark won't perform a protective covering around it to keep the moisture in, and if there isn't moisture inside, it'll burn better. Also, it is easier to handle because the wood won't be so heavy. Splitting wood is also a good exercise and can be very enjoyable. Another part of splitting wood is having the right tools. Even though wood can be split with an axe, it is better to use a maul like this because it's heavier than an axe. Mauls are heavier than an axe, and it also starts out thin and then gets wider, and so it's easier to use to split wood. It's also a good idea to have a splitting block. That's just a regular log chunk that you set the log you're trying to split on so that it can, like this, so that when you hit the log you're trying to split, the ground won't absorb the impact of the blow. If it's on a hard surface, then the blow will go into the log you're splitting. Once you have the right tools, you need to have the proper technique because with splitting wood, technique is everything. You can be really strong and still have trouble splitting wood if you don't have the proper technique. The technique is something that you use every time repetitively, and what you do when you get ready to split wood is you want to start with the maul in front of you, and you have your dominant hand near the head of the maul and your other hand at the bottom of the handle. And then you bring it up over your head and then bring it up, and as you bring it down, you want to slide your dominant hand to the bottom of the handle so you can have the most force. And also, as you're coming down, you want to come down with your knees so that the weight of your body will come down with the blow, and you can have the maximum impact into the wood. Hopefully this speech has given you some insights into how to split wood. Splitting wood can be fun and is very useful if you ever have to heat with wood. As the old timers say, wood will heat you more than once a winter. Excuse me, I have some wood to split.
Wow.
Wow.